To get out of the crisis, an innovation strategy, a creativity strategy is a very important component. The European Year of Innovation and Creativity, interestingly enough, came from a very different proposal, which was put by Austria, of having a year of education and music. How to better link culture and education. The role of the EU is not to harmonize, of course, but it's to support and facilitate reform through exchange of experience, through mobility programs like Erasmus. We fix at European levels a number of objectives and benchmarks, very important, and on the basis of these objectives, member states develop their reforms in their own ways and traditions. To try to pull together with a view to promote Europe's competitiveness, the more traditional aspect of innovation related to industry and the cultural element, and especially the creative industry, cultural industries, promoting innovation and creativity. So that covers very broad issues such as entrepreneurial education, risk-taking, which is very important and not very well developed in our education systems, putting much more culture and education together. The intercultural skills, for example, the so-called soft skills, the lateral skills are extremely important in a globalized and complex world. But when we see the ranking, the Shanghai ranking, for example, we see that we have very few European universities which are in the top 10. We have created a university business forum where we pull together universities and businesses to help them to better concentrate on what they can do together. Listen to each other, which is not too bad, and also try to develop partnerships, not only in research, but in education, in particular, to foster a more entrepreneurial and initiative-taking, risk-taking education. How also to reconcile the world of culture with the world of economy. Of course, culture is much beyond economy, but at the same time, it's not dirty to talk about cultural economy. Cultural and creative industries amount for 2.6% of GDP in Europe, which is more than the car industry. I know it's not the best time to talk about the car industry, but it's more also than the food and agro-industry, and it's more than chemical industries. So the economic role of culture is extremely important, and it's part of Europe's potential with new approaches, with new strategies to help Europe to become really more competitive and at the same time closer to the citizen, because innovation and creativity are a way to link economy and social cohesion. And it's very difficult to measure. What we see, as I indicated, is that compared to America, our main problem is fragmentation. Too many universities wanting to all do the same thing. To forecast the labor market needs of the present and of the future, and the skill mismatches. Which kind of skills will we need in Europe? We can see that about 20 million of jobs will be created in the higher technical areas, that about the same will be created in more medium qualified for the services area, and that the low qualified jobs will diminish about by the same number. So again, we try to help to better match labor market demands and skills. And that's why I said that in our message for the crisis, we have clearly indicated that long-term investment should increase. One of the elements to convince is the success stories of countries which have invested long-term versus short-term. You will never change the short-term vision of politicians because that's their life. But you can help with EU programming, with approaches to develop a longer term, medium-long term, I would say, strategy.